we've started Shine because we would like everybody to have the opportunity to, as I say, answer any questions, and also to discuss, to be able to have the opportunity to be able to share and talk about with like-minded people, because there are a lot of questions, lots of people are asking questions, and as I pass you over to my colleagues here this evening, you'll be able to ask them lots of questions, and they'll be able to answer all sorts of things. And you'll be able to ask any questions, as I said, on any spiritual matters, anything that you would like answered. And what we'd like you to do is you can actually pick who you would like the questions to, or the panel can just answer them. It's entirely up to you how you want the evening to go. And as I say, if you want to interact in the group, that's what we'd encourage. We want people to be able to share their experiences as well as not just the panel. Now, the other really important thing to say is that we're not always right. We're always going to differ in our opinions and our thoughts. So to keep this amongst us as a wonderful sharing group, we'd like it that you can express your opinion, but it isn't about anyone being wrong or right. We're all very unique and very different. So just take on board and respect other people's opinions, etc. A little bit about me. Say, for those of you who don't know me, my background is from a very young age. I was one of those that was aware of spirit and different dimensions, and had lots of lovely experiences, really. Been on the search, as most of us do in one form or another when we awaken. And I've worked as an intuitive reader now for about 6 years. Prior to that was a lot of business things, counselling, life coaching and various other things. I'm the founder of a new therapy called Freefall Therapy, but my main theme is self-transformation and personal development. So if there's any questions on that, that's my speciality. Anyway, welcome everyone, and I'm now going to pass you over to my colleagues. I've got with us Polaris AB and Magenta Pixie, and I'm going to start with Polaris.
It started for me about 3 years ago, where I actually went on a trip to Tunisia. And I had a opening of the third eye while I was there, and that ended up with a Kundalini awakening, which was a complete shock to me. Introduced me to spirit at that particular point. Within a few days after that, I had a walk-in, and the walk-in was a higher aspect of myself, which I can explain a little bit later. We can go into some more detail on that. But since that time, having been tuned to spirit, it's just, for me, it's been like an open book where I've just been receiving information. For those who are on Facebook and see, I'm just churning the stuff out all the time. It's just coming through left, right and centre. I'm putting together a website with the information. There's some fascinating information coming through. I get it in the form of language of light, sacred geometry. I also receive it in equations. I get it in Egyptian hieroglyphs and Chinese characters, and I have to do a lot of research to find out what information I'm getting. So a lot of my time is buried into the internet and into books, trying to actually understand what I'm getting, what I'm receiving through. So it's been a fascinating journey for me, and the opportunity for putting in Shine is a great. I want it to be a two-way process, if we can do it that way. So if anybody has information themselves that they want to add to the discussion, please feel free to join in as well. One of the purposes is there's a huge movement taking place at the moment. I think a lot of people that are here are interested in knowing about this what's going on in the world, and there's something that's coming from within. There's a connection that's taking place with something deeper inside of us, and a lot of questions are coming about, who are we? What is happening? What is our purpose? We're finding that a lot of the changes taking place of people feeling tired all the time, and physical changes and the changes that are happening around the world at the moment, and how we can relate to that. So I'm hoping that the purpose of this evening and future evenings is for us to try and keep in touch with what's happening. Feel free to to ask questions regarding that, about what's happening to you, your own personal journey. There's a lot of us, a lot of people I get questions from saying, what exactly is happening? Why am I so tired all the time? Why is my appetite changing? I'm not feeling the need to eat so much food anymore. I mean, I go 2 or 3 days now without eating any food. I know I'm slim anyway, but there's something going on there with something called breatharians, where people have actually ceased eating food altogether. This is not something that's just thrown out there. There's scientific proof behind this, and hopefully we can cover some of the reasons why people are giving up food entirely. But the purpose, I feel, of this 5th dimension that we're moving into is to unite with our self, our higher self, a part of us that exists where one could assume as a child we don't know what necessarily the adult that we are to become. And as an adult, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Our self is there, it has answers for us. And we're tuning in already. Great stuff, I love that. I'm already feeling tuning in. Is that you? Stop it. Your spirit guide's coming in. So, right, that's telling me to stop, because otherwise I'll carry on for hours. Right, this is Magenta Pixie.
Hello everyone, and for those who don't know me, my name is Magenta Pixie. My name is actually Petra. Magenta Pixie was a YouTube username. I'll get to that in a minute. Like Jessica, I had experiences as a child, although I wouldn't say that they were lovely experiences. They were actually quite traumatic and challenging and confusing. And when I was in my early 20s, I'll be as brief as I can so we can get to questions, I decided to consciously awaken what I understood at the time was channeling and connect to the spirit guide, which is what I did about 20 years ago. And that took some time. I used meditation. Eventually I made a connection with this spirit guide or higher self, and worked with this entity privately, really, and for a few friends and family members for several years. And as I evolved in my understanding, then the presentation of the spirit guide evolved and eventually presented itself to me as a collective consciousness, and eventually moved into the same as Paul, pure geometry in the language of light, and these hieroglyphs that Paul was talking about, which I too am making sense of. Around 2008, the collective consciousness I was working with, that I call the white-winged collective consciousness of 9, because there were 9 of them, and they presented as white-winged beings, angels. They told me it was time to go public. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but after communication with them, I realised it meant it's time to share my messages with others and not be so private. That was a big thing for me, because it wasn't something I had ever thought of doing, although I felt on another level that I would, as we all kind of know our mission intrinsically. So I started to release my messages on the internet in video form on YouTube in 2008, and I've regularly released these videos. I have people subscribe to my channel, about 27,000 people all over the world, and I'm now working privately with clients, and that's why I'm here today, to help respond to your questions, answer your questions, and take part in this discussion about what's happening to the planet, to us, and how we can all take our role and go forward so that we can help others to do what it is that's happening, this dimensional or consciousness shift. So, looking forward to tonight.